What if the food you eat before bed is silently shaping your brain's ability to repair, remember, and stay sharp as you age? This eye-opening insight reveals how simple nightly choices can either accelerate decline or powerfully protect your mind for years to come. Imagine this for a moment. Right now, inside your skull, something critical is unfolding, silent, invisible, yet deeply urgent. And the unsettling truth is that most people over 60 have absolutely no awareness that this vital process is quietly deteriorating night after night. Not due to bad luck, not because of genetics, not even because of anything they intentionally did wrong, but simply because of what they chose to eat or failed to eat before going to bed. It may sound surprising, even too straightforward to believe, but by the time you reach the end of this, you'll see your brain in a way most never do. And more importantly, you'll know exactly what action to take starting tonight. Now consider this. What is your brain really doing while you sleep? Many assume it powers down like a machine in standby mode, but that assumption couldn't be more inaccurate. While your body rests, your brain becomes incredibly active, running one of the most advanced biological systems ever known. It is cleansing itself, repairing damage, and rebuilding the neural pathways that allow you to recall names, think clearly, and feel mentally sharp and fully present the next day. Here's the alarming reality. After the age of 60, this entire process begins to weaken and silently. For most people, there are no obvious warning signs. The damage builds slowly, accumulating over years before it becomes noticeable. And here's what makes it even more concerning. The foods you consume, especially in the hours leading up to sleep, have a direct and measurable impact on whether this nightly repair system functions effectively or fails altogether. Not pills, not synthetic supplements, real, everyday foods, available in nearly every grocery store. In fact, there are 5 specific foods that researchers have identified as exceptionally powerful for supporting the aging brain. But before revealing those 5, you need to understand what's truly happening inside the brain at night. Because once you grasp the mechanism, the solution won't just seem logical, it will feel urgent, impossible to ignore even for a single night. Deep within the brain lies a system only discovered in recent years. For decades, scientists knew the brain generated waste, metabolic residue, misfolded proteins, and toxic compounds that naturally accumulate throughout the day. What remained a mystery was how the brain cleared this buildup. When the answer was finally uncovered, it was remarkable. During deep sleep, cerebrospinal fluid surges through specialized pathways in the brain, flushing out accumulated toxins, much like a powerful current washing debris from a riverbed. This system is now known as the glymphatic system, and what it clears away each night determines the line between a sharp, fully functioning mind and one slowly suffocating under its own toxic buildup. Among the most harmful of these wastes is a protein known as beta amyloid. You may recognize the name. It has a direct connection to Alzheimer's disease. In a well-rested, healthy brain, the glymphatic system removes it efficiently night after night. But when the brain is deprived of deep sleep or lacks the essential nutrients required to power this process, beta amyloid begins to accumulate night after night, week after week, year after year. And here is the moment that should truly make you pause. This accumulation starts long before any visible symptoms appear, long before memory lapses begin, long before mental fog takes hold. By the time someone becomes aware of the issue, the damage has often been building silently for more than a decade. 10 years of unnoticed decline, 10 years of nights that could have unfolded very differently. So you may be asking yourself, what does all of this have to do with what you eat for dinner? The answer is simple: everything, absolutely everything. The glymphatic system does not operate on willpower. It does not respond to good intentions, optimism, or help. It depends entirely on biological fuel, specific fatty acids that preserve the structure of brain cell membranes, essential vitamins that protect and maintain nerve pathways, critical minerals that regulate electrical signals between neurons, and powerful compounds that control inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which disrupt deep sleep and interfere with the entire cleansing process. Without these nutrients, the system slows down, toxins begin to accumulate in the brain that wakes up the next morning is just slightly diminished compared to the one that went to sleep the night before. Now, consider that happening 365 nights a year. Multiply it over 5 years, 10 years. That is how cognitive decline develops, not through a sudden collapse or a single dramatic event, but through a slow, silent, nutrient-starved deterioration that almost no one traces back to their evening meals until it is far too late to wish they had understood sooner. But you are reading this now, and that changes everything. Because, alongside this gradual decline, another process is unfolding that makes the situation even more urgent than most. People realize inflammation. This term is used so casually in health discussions that it has lost its impact. But inside the aging brain, inflammation is anything but vague. It is a measurable, destructive force that directly sabotages every repair mechanism we have discussed. Chronic, low-grade neuroinflammation disrupts the glymphatic system's ability to remove waste. It weakens the depth and quality of sleep, further reducing the system's efficiency in a damaging feedback loop. It accelerates the breakdown of synaptic connections the brain is trying to strengthen during memory formation, and it harms the mitochondria within neurons, stripping brain cells of the energy they need to function at all. Inflammation after 60 is not unavoidable, but it is extremely common in those who are not consistently providing their bodies with the specific anti-inflammatory compounds the brain depends on. This is the underlying threat connecting everything we are about to explore. Every food on this list is designed to target inflammation as part of a broader, more complete strategy far beyond what any single solution could achieve on its own. And memory is not the only process taking place in the brain at night. This is where the story becomes even more compelling and far more hopeful. Yao. The glymphatic system is clearing out waste. Another equally vital function is happening simultaneously. Your brain is organizing and strengthening everything you encounter during the day, every conversation, every face, every piece of information you try to understand or remember. During sleep, the brain does not simply store these experiences randomly like clutter shoved into a drawer. It reinforces the neural pathways that are essential and eliminates those that no longer serve a purpose. It shifts information from temporary holding zones into deep, stable, long-term memory storage, and it accomplishes all of this through a process that is incredibly sensitive to the brain's internal chemical balance, neurotransmitters, synaptic efficiency, the electrical flow across neural circuits. Every element depends completely on what you supplied your brain before you fell asleep. Now here is the reality few people are ever warned about. After the age of 60, this entire system, the cleansing, the organizing, the repairing, becomes noticeably less effective. Melatonin levels decline, disrupting the timing of deep sleep cycles and preventing the brain from fully entering the stages where the most critical restoration occurs. Neurotransmitter production decreases, weakening memory consolidation so that much of what you experience during the day fades instead of being properly stored. Inflammation rises across the brain, interfering directly with the glymphatic process at a cellular level. Nutrient absorption in the gut declines. significantly, meaning that even those who eat reasonably well may not actually be delivering what their brain truly needs. And mitochondria, the microscopic energy generators inside every brain cell, begin to falter, leaving neurons with far less energy to carry out their nightly repair than they urgently require. These are not minor or isolated issues. They are tightly linked, breakdowns within a system already operating near its limits, and they amplify one another in ways that sharply accelerate overall cognitive decline. But here is the shift you've been waiting for. None of this is inevitable. The evidence is clear and consistent. Targeted lifestyle and dietary changes can slow, stop, and in some cases even reverse these processes even in individuals well into their 70s and 80s. The brain is not a rigid machine, destined to wear out beyond repair. It is a living, adaptive organ that responds directly to how you support it. And the 5 foods we are about to explore are among the most powerful tools ever identified for giving the aging brain exactly what it needs to perform its nightly repair at full capacity. The first is sardines, small, unassuming, easy to ignore, yet remarkably potent for brain health once you understand their composition. Sardines are packed with 2 critical omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA, which are not merely beneficial but fundamentally essential for brain structure and function. DHA in particular forms a major part of the brain cell membranes. Without sufficient DHA, these membranes gradually become rigid and less responsive, impairing communication between neurons over time. Consider what this means for memory formation during sleep. The signals that must travel smoothly between neurons are forced through pathways that have become less flexible, less efficient, and less capable of supporting the precise electrical and chemical exchanges required for proper memory consolidation. And because the body cannot produce adequate amounts of DHA on its own, it must be obtained through diet. Sardines deliver it in a highly bioavailable form, more efficiently absorbed than most alternative sources. But their benefits don't stop there. Sardines are also one of the most concentrated natural sources of vitamin B12, a nutrient that becomes increasingly difficult to absorb with age and is absolutely vital for maintaining the myelin sheath, the protective layer surrounding nerve fibers throughout the brain and nervous system. As myelin deteriorates, which commonly occurs in B12 deficiency, nerve function becomes compromised. Signal transmission slows, and the brain begins to lose the clarity and speed required for sharp, confident thinking. Sardines directly and powerfully support this system. They also offer a crucial advantage over larger fish. Being small and low on the food chain, they accumulate significantly less mercury than species like salmon or tuna, making them safe for regular consumption. Eating them 2 to 3 times per week is ideal. And if your brain could express gratitude for any single change, this might be where it begins. The second food is avocado, often dismissed as just a trendy breakfast option or a restaurant indulgence. Yet in reality, it sits at the center of nearly every biological process the brain depends on to function optimally through the night. Rich, creamy, and incredibly versatile, avocado is loaded with monounsaturated fats, the same class of beneficial fats found in olive oil, which strengthen the structure of brain cell membranes and significantly enhance blood circulation to the brain over time. And blood flow is far more critical than most people realize. The brain represents only about 2% of body weight, yet it demands nearly 20% of the body's total oxygen supply every minute of every day. Every drop of blood reaching the brain carries oxygen, glucose, and essential nutrients too. Neurons working continuously at a biochemical level. When circulation is compromised, as it often is in individuals with arterial stiffness, high blood pressure, or chronic inflammation, the brain operates in a constant state of subtle deprivation. Avocado helps correct this imbalance in a steady, measurable way. Beyond its healthy fat profile, avocado is rich in folate, a nutrient essential for a process known as methylation. While the term sounds technical, its effects are deeply practical. Methylation governs the production of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine. It regulates gene activity within brain cells, determining which repair mechanisms activate and which protective pathways engage. It directly influences how effectively the brain repairs damaged DNA damage that occurs daily due to oxidative stress. With sufficient folate, the brain maintains stable neurotransmitter function and efficient cellular repair. Without it, these systems become unstable, leading to mood disturbances, slower cognition, disrupted sleep, and gradual memory decline. Even half an avocado daily can create a meaningful impact. When consumed at dinner, it provides a slow-releasing source of fat that delivers fat-soluble nutrients throughout the night, precisely when the brain needs them most. The third food is walnuts, something many people already eat, but rarely in the right quantity, form, or timing. Among all nuts, walnuts stand out as uniquely suited for brain health. Not only are they rich in omega-3 fatty acids, but they also support a critical cellular process responsible for maintaining brain energy systems. This process identifies and removes damaged mitochondria, the energy-producing units within cells, and replaces them with healthier, more efficient ones. In younger brains, this system runs smoothly, clearing out dysfunctional components before they can cause harm. But with age, this process slows, allowing damaged mitochondria to accumulate, increasing oxidative stress and draining cellular energy. Walnuts actively support this cleanup mechanism, helping preserve the efficiency and resilience of brain cells over time. The fourth food is spinach. And if there is one item on this list that acts like a central control system for brain health, it is this. Spinach operates across multiple biological pathways, simultaneously delivering benefits so extensive they almost sound exaggerated. Yet they are firmly supported by science. It is exceptionally rich in folate, contributing directly to neurotransmitter balance and DNA repair. It also contains magnesium, one of the most overlooked yet essential minerals for brain function. Magnesium regulates the NMDA receptor, a key structure involved in learning and long-term memory formation. It also promotes deep, restorative sleep by calming the nervous system and reducing excess neural activity that interferes with proper sleep cycles in individuals deficient in magnesium, which is extremely common. After 60, sleep quality deteriorates in ways that directly impair both brain detoxification and memory consolidation. Spinach also provides nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, increases oxygen delivery, and enhances glucose uptake in actively repairing neurons. It contains vitamin K, essential for maintaining the protective myelin sheath around nerve fibers, and vitamin E, a powerful fat-soluble antioxidant that shields brain cells from oxidative damage during the critical repair window of sleep. Cooked spinach is more effective than raw, as cooking breaks down compounds that otherwise block mineral absorption in the gut. A generous portion at dinner can be one of the most impactful dietary decisions for long-term brain health. The fifth food is mackerel, another powerhouse for the aging brain, delivering concentrated nutrients that directly support cognitive function, reduce inflammation, and enhance the brain's ability to repair itself overnight. If sardines are the steady, dependable foundation of brain nutrition, then mackerel represents the high-performance upgrade, delivering a far greater concentration of omega 3. Fatty acids per gram than nearly any commonly available food, with a profile that aligns almost perfectly with what the aging brain demands during its nightly repair cycles. For DHA and EPA, found in mackerel, do far more than preserve the flexibility and strength of brain cell membranes. They actively reduce inflammation within brain tissue itself, specifically by calming overactive microglial cells, the brain's immune defenders, which, when overstimulated, begin damaging the very neurons they are meant to protect. Persistent microglial overactivation is now widely recognized as a major driver of age-related cognitive decline, because once these cells enter a chronic inflammatory state, they release harmful compounds that accelerate neuronal damage in a self-perpetuating loop. The omega-3s in mackerel disrupt this cycle and help restore balance to the brain's immune environment. Mackerel also plays a powerful role in memory enhancement through its influence on brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often described as a form of fertilizer for neurons due to its ability to stimulate the growth of new neural connections, preserve existing pathways, and drive structural brain adaptation in response to learning and experience. Consistent omega-3 intake is one of the strongest dietary predictors of healthy levels of this compound in older adults. Consuming 1 to 2 servings of mackerel per week, alongside regular intake of sardines, provides the brain with a steady and abundant supply of these essential fats in their most absorbable and immediately usable form. Now comes the part that transforms everything you've just learned, and the part most people completely overlook, even when they understand individual foods. These 5 foods are not meant to function as isolated, interchangeable options. They operate as a coordinated, synergistic system, and together they create an effect far more powerful than any one of them could achieve alone. Sardines and mackerel work together to rebuild and preserve the structural integrity of brain cell membranes while simultaneously reducing the neuroinflammation that disrupts sleep and damages neurons. Avocado enhances blood flow to the brain and supports the neurotransmitter balance that governs both mood and memory formation. Walnuts activate cellular cleanup processes that remove damaged mitochondria and restore the